Hello, we want to continue with our lessons on solving equations that we've been going through for some time now. And so I gave this one to you as assignment. And so let's go through it and see how we can go about that. Let's look through it again. So the sum of three numbers is 66. The second number is twice the first. And the third exceeds the second by 6. Find the numbers. And so that's what we want to do. So we want to, so the sum of three numbers. So we want to look at how we go by this. The sum of three numbers is 66. The second is twice the first. And the third exceeds the second by 6. So let's write the things that we need. So first let's pick our x. So let x be the first number. So x will be the first number. And we've been told that the second number is twice the first. So we say the second number will be equal to 2x, because the second number is twice the first. And so we are saying that the first number is x. Now let's try to find the third number. And we are saying that the third number, so let's look at the third number. The third number exceeds the second by 6. So it exceeds the second by 6. The second number is x. And the third exceeds this number by 6. Great, great. So we've been able to map out the conditions that was spelled out. And so from the question, we have x plus 2x plus 2x plus 6. So that is how we actually go about this. So we want to actually find the values. So let's take our time and actually go through it. So this will be 6. This will be 6. All right. And that will be equal to 66. So first number is x plus second number plus the third number. So when we take our time and add like terms, x plus 2x will give us 5x plus 6, and that is equal to 66. So let's subtract 6 from both sides. So we shall get, so then we divide both sides by 5. So 5x divided by 5 will give us x, and this will give us, so the first number is 12. So first number. So first number, which is equal to x, is 12. Now let's look at the second number. The second number is 2x. And so that will be 2 times 12. And that will be 24. Now let's look at the third number. So the third number is 2x plus 6. So we shall get 24 plus 6, and that will be 30. And so we say that therefore the numbers are 12, 24, and 30. So these are the numbers. And so go through it again. So you look at the question and you pay the conditions from the question and we use them. Great. Look at it carefully. Fantastic. So we are going to an example. So we want to look at example, the next example, that is example 14. Example 14. So the sum of two numbers, we want to look at the sum of two numbers is, the sum of two numbers is 63. The first is 6 times the second. Find the numbers. Find the numbers. Okay. So we want to go through this question and see. So let's look at the question again. The sum of two numbers, x 63. The sum of two numbers is 63. The first is 6 times the second. The first is 6 times. So let's try to write the conditions that have been given to us. So let's start. The sum of two numbers. So let x and y be the numbers. Let x and y be the numbers. So x and y be the numbers. So that gives us the, so from the first sentence, the sum of two numbers. So let's call those two numbers x and y. Then we are saying that the first, so let's say that x is the first and y is the second. Let's impose the positions on them. So x is the first number, y is the second number. Good. Now with that established, the question is saying the first is 6 times the second. So the first, which is x, is 6 times the second. So we get our condition as well. So we've gotten the other condition. The first is 6 times the second. Find the numbers. Right. So let's now write the equation. So from the sentence, x plus y is 63 right away. And so we have it. All right. And so we have this, the sum of two numbers, x and y. So we add x and y from the first sentence. And then we are saying that the first is actually 6 times the second. Now, with that established, in place of x, we will put our 6y. So this equation now becomes 6y plus y equals that. So in place of the x, we have our 6y. So we shall get 7y equals 63. And when we divide both sides by 7, then we shall get 9. Good. So the second number is 9. And then the first number will be 6 times 9, and that will be 54. So we say that therefore, the numbers are 54 and 9. Right. Okay. So that's how we go through this one. So look at the questions again. Look at the questions again and the solution. Fantastic. All right. So that is how this also goes. So look at the question and look at the solution, how we went about it. All right. Okay. All right. Great. Great. So I think that is good. And so we got this one. So we have treated all this, treated the 14. Let's move on to another question. 15. Okay. So for this question two, I'm writing it down. All right, so let's look at the question. A certain number is multiplied by 3 and 13 subtracted from the result. The answer is now divided by 7 and the final answer is 5. What is the number? So let's pick the question in sections. And then we try to figure out how we can. So a certain number. So that certain number, let's call it X. So let the unknown number be equal to X. So let the unknown number be equal to X. So from the question, we want to take our time. So a certain number. So that certain number is multiplied by 3, and that certain number is X. So 3 times X and 13 subtracted from it. So let's subtract 13 from it. And the result is divided by 7. And the final answer is 5. So we've been able to translate the sentence above into this mathematical statement. That certain number X is multiplied by 3 and 13 is subtracted from the result, that is 3x minus 13, then divided by 7. And the final answer is 5. So that's how so the rest will be rearrangement. So we multiply both sides by 7. And so, or we say cross multiplication. So 7 times 5 will be 35. And then we add 13 to both sides. So when we add 13 to the left-hand side, this 13 will be cleared. And then 13 to the other side, we shall get our 48. Great. Now, we now divide both sides by 3. And we shall get 16. Right, so the X, the number is 16. So we say that therefore, the number in question is 16. Great, so look at the question again and see how we were able to find the answer. And see how we're able to find the answer. Right, so always you can get a condition from the question and then you move on that way. All right. Great, so let's move on to the 16th question. Right, the difference of two numbers is 13. Their sum is 35. What is the smaller number? Okay, so on this one too, we can get the conditions from the question. So we want to look at that. So let's get the two numbers, the difference of two numbers. So let's say that let the two numbers be X and Y. Let the two numbers be X and Y. And then let's say that our X is greater than Y. Because we'll find their difference, one should be greater than the other. So let's impose this condition as well. All right. So now I've gotten the two numbers. And says their sum is 35. and their difference is 13. So let's write, so when you find their difference, it is 13, equation 1. When we find their sum is also 35. So we should find the numbers. So all that we are going to do is that we are going to add these two equations. We are adding the two equations. So we say x minus y plus x plus y. As the left-hand side, we add all of them. And then we add this one as well. So this x and that x will give us 2x. And then the minus y plus y will clear. So when we add the 2, then we shall get 48. So when we divide 2x by 2, get x. When we divide 48 by 2, we shall get 24. So x is 24. Then we can use any of the equations to find the other one. So we use the equation 2. We say that 24 plus y is equal to our 35. Therefore, y is 11. And so we'll say that the smaller number is 11. So therefore, the smaller number is 11. And that does it. So the smaller number is 11. All right. Thank you so much. The smaller number is 11. So go through it again and see. So the difference of two numbers. And then this is the solution. All right. And this is that. And we'll get it this way. All right. Fantastic. Okay. So the smaller number is 11. Okay. So let's look at another question. Okay, so the question is from the numerator and denominator of the fraction 17 over 21. The same number is subtracted and the resultant fraction is 1 over 3. What is the number? What is the number? So let's get the conditions. Let's get the conditions. So here all we are going to say that let x be the number to be subtracted, because we are going to subtract it from the fraction. So let x be the number to be subtracted. All right, to be subtracted. So we start. The fraction is 17 over 21, and we are subtracting the same number from both. So that's how the whole thing will be. Great. And the result will be 1 over 3. So this is what we are actually looking for. So from the numerator, we subtract x. From the denominator, we subtract x of that's the same number I subtracted. And the resulting fraction is 1 over 3. Resulting fraction, that's the equal sign. All right. So the next step is that we do our cross multiplication. 3 from the right-hand side, we'll go and multiply 17 minus x, and then 21 minus x will multiply our 1. So we shall get 17 minus x times 3, and then 17 minus x times 1. Okay, so we do our multiplication. So 17 times 3 is 51, and then we get 3x, then this will give us that. Okay, so we do our rearrangement. We take our time and rearrange, and then we shall get our values. Very, very important as we actually move on. Great. And so this is, sorry, this is 20, this is 21. So this is 21, 21. And this is, so let me go this way. It's 21. Let's say I want to take my time and do the right thing very well. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go back. All right. So we have 21 minus x here. We have 21. So this will be good. And then this one will give us 3x minus x. Okay. So from there, we can now get our 30 equals 2x, and we say that we divide both sides by 2. So 2 divides 2x, we get our x. Let's bring it here, and then 2 divides that, we get this one. All right, great. Great, so that's how, so our x is actually 15. So we say that therefore, the number in view is 15. Thank you so much. Great, so let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. All right, so that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So that does it for question 17. Let's try another question. Question 18. Let's try another question and see how that also goes. Okay, So what number added to the numerator and the denominator of the fraction 1/6 makes it equal to 9/10? So as usual, let's say that let x be the unknown number. So x is the unknown number. And the question is saying what number subtracted, what number added to the numerator and the denominator. So we are going to, so we have 1/6, and we are going to add x to the numerator and the denominator. And he's saying that will be equal to 9/10. You see that? Makes it equal to 9/10. So we rearrange and then we move on. So we multiply, cross multiplication. So the 10 will multiply 1 plus x, and 9 will multiply 6 plus x. So let's try to do the expansion. So 10 times 1 is 10, 10 times. So let's do this well. So we are going back. Okay, so 10 times 1 is 10, 10 times x is that 9 times 6, we shall get our 54. Then 9 times x, we shall get our 9x. So we are grouping the like terms now. So what we are doing is that we subtract 9x from both sides, and then we subtract 10 also from both sides. So this will give us x is equal to 44. So we say that the number under discussion is 44. That's great. So that's how the sentence goes. Great, great, great. Okay, so that does it for this one. That does it for this one. Let's try and see another question that we can actually see how we can also solve that. And that question is, as I'm going to write down. Okay, so question here is that prove that if you think of any number, multiply it by 4, add 6, divide by 3, subtract 2, and take 3 3/4 of it and take 3/4 of it, of the result, the final answer will be the same number itself. Right, so let's take our time and go through it. So the number that we are talking about, let's pick x again. So let x be the number you think of. Let x be the number you think of. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Prove that if you think of any number, so the number we are thinking of is x, multiply by 4, add 6, divide by 3, subtract 2. Right. And then the whole of what we are doing, we now take 3/4 of it. Okay, so we are actually going to simplify this. All right, so that will be 3/4. Let's try to simplify what we have in the bracket. We want to try to find the LCM. So this is 2, so 2/1. So you get this 2/1. So the 2 on top here is 2/1. So when we multiply by 3, the numerator and denominator, I get 6/3 so that we can deal with the values. All right, so we shall get 4x plus 6 minus 6 all over 3. And so keeping on still simplifying, we shall get 4x over 3. And this is multiplication. And so 3/4 times. So this 3 will divide that, 4 will divide, and finally, we shall get x. So we come back. So we say that the final statement is x. So therefore, the final value as we saw in the question is still, so the final answer is x. All right, so that's how we go about it. Right, so this is the question. Let's look through it. There's a question. Then we use the conditions in the question to solve it. You just take your time, you read a question, and then you supply. All that you need is to get your number. The number we all don't know, so we say x. By the time we use a condition that has been given in the question, we'll get to the end and we have been able to find the answer. All right, so that is how it goes. So let's look at another question. Let's look at another question. And that is question 20. So let's look at another question. That is question 20. So I'm writing it down and then we'll look at it. Okay, so let's read the question. One boy has 5 times as many marbles as a second boy. If the first were to give 18 marbles to the second, each will then have the same number. How many marbles has each? How many marbles has each? So let's look through the question again. Okay. So you see that these things are actually hinging on the second boy. So we say that let the marbles, the second, let the marbles the second boy has be X. So the marbles the second boy has, we'll say that let it be X. If that is the case, then let's go back to the question. So one boy has 5 times as many marbles as a second boy. So the second boy has X marbles. So what we say is that he has 5X marbles as much as the second boy. If that is the case, then because we are giving 18 out, then what we do is that 5X minus 18X plus 18 from the conditions given in the question. And so let's take our time and simplify. So 5X minus X will give us 4X. And then on the other side, because we subtracted X from both sides, and then we also add 18 to both sides, and we shall get 36. So when we divide 4X by 4, we get X, and then 36 by 4, we get 9. So the number we are talking about is that, so the second boy, so we say second boy receives 9 marbles, because we started with him. And then the first boy will get 5X, and that will be 5 times 9, and that will be 45 marbles. All right, great. And so that is how the whole thing will be. That is how the whole thing will be. So he will get 45 marbles. So let's write it. Good. So first boy will get 45 marbles, and second will get 9 marbles. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. So you take your time and you go through, and things will be all right. So this is the other volume, and we've looked at a number of questions under that. We shall continue again. Thank you so much for your time and everything. Good afternoon,